My mother slid her phone across the table. It's only $8,500. Family helps family. The screen glowed with a floral proposal. Peonies, garden roses, something called a ceremony arch installation. I stared at the number. $8,500. For my sister's wedding flowers. 2 years ago, I got married. I paid for every single piece of it myself. $18,400 out of my own bank account. When I asked my parents if they could help, my mother put her hand on mine and smiled. Sweetheart, your gift is our presents. Our presents. And now she wanted $8,500. How do you say no to your own mother without becoming the villain? Drop your time zone below. It's 2 a.m. here and I can't sleep. Hit like if you've ever been the backup child. Because I had 2 years of receipts. And I was about to use every single one. Let me back up. I'm the older daughter. The independent one. That's family code for you don't need us. I worked 2 jobs through college. Paid my own tuition. Graduated debt-free because I lived in a basement apartment and ate ramen 4 nights a week. My sister Sarah got her degree fully funded. Spring break in Greece. A car for her 21st birthday. A 2-bedroom apartment downtown that my parents co-signed. I never asked why. I just worked harder. When I got engaged, I was excited. I thought maybe this would be different. I sat down with my parents and showed them my budget. My mom looked at the number and sighed. Honey, we're stretched thin with Sarah's last year of school. But we are so proud of how independent you are. My dad nodded. You've always been so capable. I paid for the venue, the catering, the photographer, the flowers, $1,100 worth. I made my own centerpieces. I shortened the guest list. I moved the date twice to get a cheaper rate. At the rehearsal dinner, my mother gave a toast. We're so proud you did this yourself. Our presence is the real gift. Everyone clapped. I smiled. I kept every receipt, every email, every invoice. It's a habit from my job. I work in tech. I audit code. I track everything. Turns out that habit saves lives. I didn't know then that our presents would cost me $8,000. Sarah got engaged last fall. My mom called me the next week, bubbling with excitement. Your sister found the most incredible florist. You have to see the portfolio. I was happy for her. I really was. Then my mom's voice shifted. The thing is, the floral installation she wants is a bit over our budget. But you're doing so well at work now. I felt my stomach drop. How much are we talking? $8,500, but it's her dream. And you didn't let us help with your wedding, so this is your chance to give back. I didn't let them help. I sat there, silent. My mom filled the silence. You make 6 figures now, right? This is what family does. I hadn't even processed the number when my phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. A photo of a bouquet. All whites and blush pinks. Gorgeous. Mom said you're covering flowers. Oh my God, thank you, thank you. I can't believe it. You're the best sister ever. I stared at the screen. I hadn't said yes, but they'd already decided. I typed out a reply 3 times and deleted it. What do you even say? Actually, I never agreed to this. Maybe ask me first? I put the phone down. My hands were shaking. I hadn't said yes. But they'd already told her I did. I waited a day. Then I sent a careful text to my mom. I need to talk budget before I commit to anything. She called me 6 seconds later. Budget? Sweetheart, after everything we sacrificed raising you, you're going to talk about budget. Her voice was tight. Hurt. We gave you independence. We were there for you. Your sister shouldn't have to cut her vision because you're holding a grudge. A grudge. An hour later, the extended family group chat lit up. My aunt. So generous of you. Sarah is lucky to have a big sister like you. A cousin I hadn't spoken to in 2 years. Can't wait to see the florals. You're amazing. My partner came into the room and saw my face. Just pay it. Keep the peace. It's not worth the fight. I opened my laptop, logged into Venmo, typed in $8,500. My finger hovered over the button. I started crying. Maybe I was selfish. Maybe independence really was just another word for ungrateful. Maybe I owed them this. Then I closed Venmo. I opened my cloud drive instead. The folder labeled Wedding Final. I wasn't crazy. I had proof. I just had to decide if I was brave enough to use it. I opened the spreadsheet. Every line item from my wedding. Venue, $6,800. Catering, $7,200. Flowers, $1,100. Photography, $3,300. Dress alterations, invitations, rehearsal dinner, total $18,400. Parental contribution, 0. I scrolled to the email folder. Subject line, wedding help. My mother's reply dated March 14th, 2021. Sweetheart, we're stretched thin with Sarah's tuition, but we'll be there with bells on. Our presence is the real gift. Love, Mom. I read it twice. Our presence is the real gift. I opened a new spreadsheet tab. I labeled it Sarah Funded Events. College tuition, 4 years, $104,000. Car, 21st birthday, $22,000. Spring break trip to Greece, $4,000. Apartment security deposit, co-signed lease, $3,600. I sat back. I paid for my own wedding, down to the cocktail napkins, and I never asked for a dime back. I never complained. I smiled at that rehearsal dinner and said thank you, and now my mother wanted $8,500 for flowers. I took a screenshot of the email. That email was about to become the most expensive sentence she ever wrote. I replied to my mom. I need a few days to think about it. Professional, polite. She didn't text back. Instead, she called my partner. He told me that night. Your mom called. She said you're dealing with some money anxiety, and maybe I should talk sense into you. Money anxiety. The next day, my sister sent a voice memo. I didn't want to listen to it. I did anyway. Her voice was shaking. I don't understand why you're doing this. I've always looked up to you. I thought you'd be happy for me. I didn't think you'd ruin my wedding over money. Mom said maybe you're jealous. I don't want to believe that. Jealous. I closed my eyes. An hour later, my cousin texted. Hey, I heard you're going through something. Mom said maybe we can all chip in for Sarah's flowers if money's tight. If money's tight, then my mom sent the final blow. Florist needs an answer by Friday. I already told her you're good for it. Don't make me a liar. Friday, 72 hours. I looked at my cloud drive. The receipts were ready. The timeline was built. They had no idea what I'd already prepared. I had 72 hours to decide. Would I pay to keep the peace? Or would I bring the truth? I couldn't let it go. I went back to my parents' Facebook. I scrolled to September 2021, 5 months after my wedding. There it was, a photo album, 23 pictures. Rhine and Danube adventure. My parents on a river cruise, 2 weeks. Castles and vineyards and candlelit dinners. I opened the cruise line's website. I found the same itinerary, same ship, same stateroom class. The price, $10,800 for 2. $10,000. 5 months after they couldn't afford to help with my wedding. I kept digging. I opened Venmo. My dad's account is public. I scrolled back 3 months. There it was. A payment to Sarah, $3,000. The note: apartment setup, with a couch emoji and a heart. $3,000 for furniture. I screenshotted everything. I built a new document. I called it Family Financial Timeline, 2021 to 2024. 3 pages. Every receipt labeled. Every date verified. Every dollar accounted for. They weren't stretched thin. They weren't broke. They just decided I wasn't worth spending on. And now I had proof. Undeniable, time-stamped public proof. They weren't going to like what came next. I needed to understand. I called my cousin, the one who's closer to Sarah. We talked for an hour, and the truth came out. Your mom's been talking about your wedding for 2 years. She tells people you didn't want her help, that you shut her out. I felt my chest tighten. I asked for help. She said they couldn't afford it. Silence on the line. That's not the story she tells. My cousin kept going. She's planning Sarah's wedding like it's her own. She picked the florist. She chose the venue. Sarah just says yes to everything. I closed my eyes. Your mom said something to my mom last month. She said, "At least Sarah lets me be her mother." There it was. This wasn't about money. It wasn't even about flowers. It was about control. I got away. I built a life she didn't design. Sarah didn't. Sarah was the compliant one, the one who needed her. And my mother resented me for it. The $8,500 wasn't a favor. It was a test. Would I bend? Would I come back into the fold on her terms? Would I pay, literally, to stay in her good graces? I looked at the binder on my desk. I couldn't give her money, but I could give her the truth. I made a decision. I wasn't going to argue over text. I wasn't going to send an angry email. I was going to show up to the family lunch my mother had scheduled. And I was going to bring receipts. Printed, bound, organized. I opened the timeline document and hit print. 10 pages. I slid them into a clear binder. Cover page. Family Financial Summary, 2021 to 2024. No emotion, just numbers. Then I drafted an email to my mom. I didn't send it. I just saved it in drafts. Subject: Sarah's wedding, my contribution. Body: I'm happy to contribute $500 toward Sarah's wedding. That's the same percentage of my income I spent on my own. I will not be contributing $8,500. This boundary is final. $500, fair, generous even, but not $8,500. Then I called my aunt, my dad's sister. I need you at lunch on Thursday. I need a witness. She paused. What's going on? I'm setting a boundary, and I need someone there who won't let them rewrite it later. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, I'll be there. I wrote one line in my journal that night. I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing it so I can sleep again. Thursday came. We met at a restaurant. Neutral ground. My mom, my dad, my sister, my aunt, and me. My mom ordered wine and made small talk about Sarah's dress fitting. Then she turned to me. So, have you thought about the flowers? I reached into my bag. I pulled out the binder. I set it on the table. I have an answer. I slid it across to her. She looked down, confused. What is this? It's math. I opened to the first page. My wedding invoice, $18,400 highlighted in yellow. This is what I paid for my wedding. Out of pocket. My mom's face went tight. This is inappropriate. This is a financial summary. I turned the page. The email. March 14th, 2021. Our presence is the real gift. I'd highlighted it in yellow. No one said anything. I turned to page 3. The Facebook album. The cruise. The price breakdown. September 2021. 5 months after my wedding. $10,800. My dad stared at his plate. Sarah's eyes were wide. Page 4. The Venmo screenshot. $3,000 to Sarah, 3 months ago. For furniture. My aunt leaned in. Read the page, sat back. My mom's voice shook. You're humiliating your sister. I'm setting a boundary. I closed the binder. I will contribute $500 to Sarah's wedding. I'll Venmo her tonight. I will not be contributing more. And I won't be discussing this again. I stood up. I pulled two $20 bills from my wallet and set them on the table. Lunch is on me. I walked out. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely unlock my car. I sat in the driver's seat. My phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. I didn't know about your wedding. I didn't know they didn't help. I'm so sorry. I read it 3 times. I didn't reply, not yet. I just sat there. I'd said what I came to say. I didn't need her to respond. I needed me to be free. My mother didn't speak to me for 3 months. Radio silence. Sarah's wedding went forward. I sent the $500 that night, just like I said I would. Sarah scaled back the flowers. She told me later that she chose something simpler, something she actually liked better. She never asked me for the full amount again. 2 weeks before the wedding, my dad called. I almost didn't answer. But I did. His voice was quiet. I owe you an apology. I didn't realize how it looked, how it felt. I'm sorry. I didn't say it's okay, because it wasn't. But I said, thank you for saying that. I saved the voicemail. I didn't delete it. I didn't call him back for a while. But I kept the door open. I went to Sarah's wedding. I brought the $500 check in a card. I stayed for cocktail hour. I hugged her. I told her she looked beautiful. Then I left before the speeches. No drama, no scene. Just boundaries. I started therapy a month later. I told my therapist the whole story. She said something I'll never forget. You kept trying to earn what they gave her for free, but you can't earn unconditional love. It's supposed to be unconditional. That broke something open in me. I saw my aunt a few weeks later. She hugged me hard. She texted me after, I've watched this pattern for years. I'm proud of you. I screenshotted that one too. 4 months after the wedding, Sarah asked me to coffee. We talked for 2 hours. She told me she didn't realize how different our childhoods were. She cried. I cried. It was a start. 5 months after the lunch, my mom sent a text. I still think you made a scene, but I miss you. I read it. I put my phone down. I didn't reply. Not because I was angry, but because the boundary had to hold. I didn't get an apology from her. I didn't get my money back. But I got something better. I got my peace. You teach people how to treat you. Sometimes that lesson costs $8,500 you refuse to spend. So here's my question for you. Would you have paid to keep the peace? Or would you have brought the receipts? What's the wildest financial ask your family ever made? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story helped you think about your own boundaries, hit subscribe. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're survival. Oh, and one last thing. I still have that binder. I hope I never need it again. But I'm really glad I built it. This has been a fictionalized dramatization based on real experiences. It is not legal or financial advice. Take care of yourselves and protect your peace.